up, guys? Team Staff West, Discraft Underground team captain. Super excited for tonight. We, of course, got Alex. Alex, how's it going?
Pretty good, man. Pretty good.
Awesome. We got one of our Underground members who made a big splash last weekend at the Silver Cup. We got Phill Dilone.
How you guys doing?
Good. Thanks for joining us, Phill. Love having Underground members on here for these interviews. So we're going to kick off with our standard first question. Tell us about how you got into disc golf.
Got it. So, I was probably 18 years old. I'm 30 now. My buddy Ben Alschbach, his brother had like a couple discs. He's just like, yeah, and I'm from the east side of Detroit. And he's like, you want to go to Stony Creek? And Stony Creek's about 45 minutes away. And we all went there and just did some disc and then did a whole round of, back then it was 27 holes, not 18. And then never played again for like 8 years. So played a little through college. Bought 3 discs. My first ever disc was a Buzz SS, Eric McCabe little rainbow stamp.
Nice.
Gotta find it somewhere. I know I have it. And then DX Destroyer and Avenger. So eventually lost those, and I thought my Avenger was in the snow once, and I was like, oh, I'll come back in the spring and get it. It's right here. And I found out people play all through the winter in Michigan. So,
yeah.
So yeah, that's kind of how I got started. And then, yeah, I didn't catch the bug until I was like 25 again. The last 24, 25, last like 5 or 6 years, I've been competing a little bit more serious and signed up for the PDGA in my first event, December of 15. So
wow.
Pretty much 2016 forward is when I started playing PDGA events.
That's so
nice.
Cool. So kind of a follow-up to that. So obviously you said you left the game for a bit. What's your background in sports? Obviously, as people have seen you on live coverage now, you've got a pretty big athletic build. What's your background in sports, if there is any?
Yeah, so I grew up kind of in a dojo. My dad did karate my whole life. He's fought around the world and in Japan, but he had a karate school in Detroit. So pretty much from when I could walk, I kind of got that kind of training, athletic training, as far as like striking and throwing, everything through karate. And that kind of developed through baseball. Last name is Diloné. Miguel Diloné used to be a professional baseball player from Dominican Republic in the States in like the 80s, late 70s, early 80s. He was really fast, could do stolen bases, and a lot of our family kind of had that root. So I did baseball my whole life. It's like my go-to. I tore out my pec muscle on my right side and used to be able to throw. I got clocked at 92 miles per hour at Atlanta Braves minor league stadium.
Oh, wow.
Florida. And that was when I was 18, but I could throw like 84 as a freshman when I was 14. Wow. And I injured my arm, so never really went anywhere with baseball. Went to go play college ball and had a double hernia surgery, had 3 hernia surgeries in I think it was less than a year or a year's time. I'm back in 2008 and 9. And then found disc golf late. I only played for a couple months, and then I actually broke my neck.
Oh, God.
5.5, 6 years ago now. I have a scar. I don't know if you can see it, but like 6 screws going down 3 of my vertebrae with 2 plates.
Oh, wow.
Got in a bad car accident in 2014. Yeah, and then I just started kind of playing. But I remember back then I could throw kind of far, and then I like had to relearn everything. So
that's wild. So, and then, yeah, go ahead, Wes.
Yeah, crazy path to disc golf. I think kind of like yourself, I played like a little bit in high school with some friends, and then I didn't really play in college, and then kind of picked it up back after college, just looking for something to do. So it's always interesting to hear how people get into disc golf, because everybody has a kind of a different path, even though there's some similarities. So
do you know about leagues or anything when you like got back into it?
I found them pretty quick. Yeah, thankfully in Lansing we have a couple of leagues. We have like a mixed doubles league and then a singles league. So I started out with the mixed doubles league. It's just a real beginner friendly way to get involved and kind of learn some basics of the game and some basic rules and stuff. Just playing some casual semi-casual doubles at least. So that was a cool way for me when I first got involved.
Yeah, when I got involved, broke my neck, and then got a job that allowed me to travel, and that was in Maryland. I kind of moved to Maryland, and what do you do if you don't know anybody? You're just going to go disc golf. And the club there called Fred Rock in Frederick, Maryland, and it was only maybe 12 to 25, 30 people, and lucky if we got 8 to 10 people at our putting leagues. And I didn't know what a putting league was or anything, so it was cool kind of getting to play with them and learning things from them. They taught me the thumber. I used to have a really good forehand, but in Maryland, there's tons of elevations, and they were like, oh, these guys were just cheating. So I was like, how do you do that? And then I learned it. So
that's so cool. That's so cool. So kind of your thumber was on show to some extent over at Silver Cup. So we're gonna kind of lean into what it meant for you to kind of go over to Silver Cup. You're kind of a journeyman when it comes to playing tournaments. You've played a lot of tournaments across the nation. I think I saw that you have like 250 plus courses. But what does it mean for you to kind of hit up some of these spots on tour, and put your unique twist and look at some of the courses that you see the biggest names in the sport play?
Yeah, so I know when I first got into this, and like you can look at my stats, they're not the greatest, but I think this year will be my 5th Ledgestone. And the goal, I think first year I played it, I was like super low 900 rated. But, I just wanted to see, like, I knew I could throw far, hit some putts, but I traveled so much that I never had like consistency. But this year, kind of like in work, I do freelance work for corporate events, and with COVID and stuff, it hasn't really been a thing. So I've always wanted to kind of like dive into it and see like, what are you actually capable of? So I was going to take about 3 months off eventually, and then maybe hit like a little mini swing. Now, the van last November, been super slow to ripped it apart. I think this year's time, a couple months back, but I've only done like six big work days. Silver Cup happened, but right before that was the Preserve. So went there and actually just straight no sleep, shot a 9 down, and couldn't get close to it after that. And then the last round of the Preserve is a clean round, bogey free, 7 down. That felt good finally and I still had a bunch. I remember the card mates, like I missed 18 for Eagle. I outdrove the hole about 90 feet. We're like, that's the first basket you missed on your kind of took that momentum and like took my way into the tour, and went to Wisconsin. We got to practice with Jared Stoll, Kyle Klein, in Hamilton, Cam Bennick, all Michigan guys, and we kind of just had really relaxing rounds and talked crap. And I'm sitting here trying to compete with an 18-year-old, and I'm just like, I can throw farther than you, or like I can hit this putt. And, it was cool because I cooked him pancakes one day, and I was like, you should start a show or something. But he just goes out and shreds. So every practice round, he was averaging like 8 to 9 down, 7 down, I think, and I was like 2 to 5 down. And then I knew I could get all the holes, and I got them all. 15, that's comparable kind of to 11 at the toboggan.
Okay.
Super high uphill, but you got a hyzer flip, kind of push something. Once I got that, I was like, I can make all these shots. I had an eagle look on 16 in practice inside the circle, but I missed my putt. So one on film has the roller go down and the bench.
Yeah.
Once I I knew it looked good from the tee pad, but you lose sight of it. And then PK Pro had the catch cam, and I was like, oh, that would have been like really, really, really good. So
yeah.
Nice. Yeah, so let's talk about that first round. I mean, you mentioned your practice rounds, you were kind of shooting 2 to 5, but felt like you could do better. So you get out there round 1. You were kind of an earlier tee time, and you come out and shoot 9 down. And a lot of times when you see those early tee times come in, you see maybe the the bigger touring pros that are teeing off later kind of come in and shoot a little above that. But up until the last card was turned in, you were still hanging in there on the lead card. So what were some of the thoughts going through your head in the clubhouse after your round?
Yeah, so that was crazy. I think I started at 9:15, and that night was just rain, all rain, and we eliminated hole 2s and 3 from the tournament. So the first about 3-4 holes still had like, you know, minor drizzle, wetness coming down from the leaves, like all your discs needed to be wiped off. Definitely, like, I had a mitten bag and stuff, just trying to like calm and just shoot a fun round. And I had a super fun card, and kind of just like the practice just took over. And all hole 1 was hard for me all week. I was able to get hole 1. I was like, cool. I was struggling with that hole all week, but I did get a birdie on it. But I just felt good to be close in the tournament. I made a good putt, and I just riding it. And I think hole 3, or they call it 5, that was a bad hole for me. And, I had this miraculously 3 save, but lost a disc on 6, a lighthouse hole, round 1.
Oh no!
Kind of worked myself, and I was like, oh no, this sucks. But I was like, it's okay, keep going. Like, I can get 7. I can get, because I got all of these in practice. And so then next thing you know, I went on, I think from 7 to 13, I had 7 birdies in a row.
Yeah.
And it was just like, got 7, 8 uphill, kind of where I did that big thumber approach, you know, to the cameraman.
Yeah.
If you watch the film, I was way tucked to the right. Instead of throwing a high thumber, I threw a super low skip shot, and I was like off the fairway, up into the, because 8's, to get up there, the par 4, it's super skinny. Got up there, and I guess it crawled or something close, and I had like a 20-foot putt, hit that. And then 9's the big par 4 that you can eagle. And I was 1 foot away from the circle 1 flag, and I missed my putt.
Oh no!
And then next day on film, I was in almost the exact same spot. And I was like, oh, dude, you got to hit this putt, because I chained out really good heavy left, but like I had a lot of chains, and got that eagle and just kept going. Got 10. I had on 10 on the first day. I had a 20-foot putt I missed for eagle. So I had just missed 11. Missed 9 for eagle, 35 feet, and then I missed 11 for, no joke, 18 to 20 feet. And I was like, what? And I think I was just like talking myself up, that fact that I got another look at eagle. This round's killing it.
Yeah.
And then went to 12 and threw super far left, and had this crazy skip shot low. There's that narrow tunnel. I was still like 180 feet away. Skipped up and gave myself a look, circle's edge, and hit the putt. And then 13's a really hard birdie up in that tunnel. I actually bogeyed it the last day. It was not good to me, but like a 25-foot look. And the day prior, I lost my vulture, and then I just bagged another one. I threw it, and it was my flippier one, so it kind of flipped up in the gap perfect. I knew exactly what I needed to do on my game plan. Actually didn't carry my Zuka cart for the entire tournament, and I played the course in my head, and I put everything in my bag. And sometimes I give myself too many decisions. I'm like, I have 2 vultures or 3 vultures, you know, like I just was, this is your shot on this hole. You can only throw this shot. It was like I caddied for myself prior to the round, and things just fell. So it was very good.
That's really cool. I think that like kind of that last point you made is really interesting, because oftentimes people will go into a tournament and they'll be like, this is my bag, this is what I'm playing with. But it's cool to kind of think about that mentality and being like, okay, these are the discs I need for this course, rather than this is the bag and I'll throw the discs that come to me. I think that's kind of
so really one of my favorite disc is the Buzz OS, and had it in the bag the entire week, and I don't think I ever threw it. It's like, how do you not throw a Buzz OS on the course? But it was how the holes lined up. And it was, I have so much confidence in the disc, but I just was like, it was really, really weird. So certain holes, you know, like I carry, when I play the toboggan, I only play one hole. I throw the heat on like 10 or like certain courses, you throw one disc on that one hole. And you know, it's in the bag for like, it goes like this. And like, that's what it does.
That's really cool. That's really cool. So kind of we running through the like mindset going into it. Kind of let's change gears a little bit and go into kind of the meta conversation around. I believe this is your first big filmed round. What was that like? Kind of being on film. Did it change how you approached how you carried yourself or how you thought about your shots? What was that like to be on a film card?
Yeah, so it's funny because I love, if you know me, like I love taking photos and videos of people. All my buddies kind of like, some of them do, but like don't take film or video of like you on the pad. So you're like, oh, I need content, man. It's so hard. But in Canada this past year, I was filmed and then on the lead card with Thomas Gilbert.
Oh yeah.
Mark Hendel and some Clayton Morgan, some good guys up in Canada, and I enjoyed it because it's like, oh, cool. The cameraman's to have a catch cam for the shot, so all you got to do is throw the normal shot. So day prior, people are asking me if I was nervous or anything, and I don't know. It was just like another round, Like if anything, like cameras are trees, and it's just the people you're playing with. So it was cool to play with the. Like all the pros that I got to play with, but it was also like, I can make all of these shots. Yeah. Just go out there and make all these shots. And, every missed putt you make is just like, all right, I made that. Like the camera didn't make me feel. Yeah. I don't really get jitters. I kind of just try to keep my head super even keeled and just like play the game and was able to get in the zone kind of round 1 and 2, and it was good. So,
that's awesome.
Film rounds, bring them on. I'd like to be on more, hopefully.
Yeah.
knock on wood or whatever. But just if anyone can execute your game plan, and many people were like, "Man, you inspire me. I'm lower rated too," and I was like, anyone could do it. Like And going back to the preserve, like LaVisca designed a course that if you're upper level advancer, you can throw a certain distance. Like if you make all your putts that round, you can make it happen. So
that's so cool.
You just mindset. I just try to like as clear and as positive as I can. And someone joked with me once. They were like, "Man, this," because I was like off the fairway, but I was like, I can still make that. It was like 120. My buddy's like, "Dude, like, you're in the worst position and you still think you can get out of it." I'm like, if you can't get out of it, you can't get out of it. Like you gotta believe in yourself.
Yeah, that's really cool.
I know a lot of people talk about the camera jitters. I think you have a perfect personality for the camera as well. And I know from watching the rounds back, you could tell that you were really focused and that you really wanted to excel and have a good round. And it wasn't just a fluke that you shot 9 down the first day and found your way or made your way onto this filmed card. And it just felt like you really carried yourself very confidently. And I think that's a good tip or good advice for people that are newer to filmed cards, is that, oftentimes you've earned your way there by playing a good round. And so, don't feel like you need to be nervous about it. You've earned your way there as much as all the other guys. And so you deserve to be on that filmed round and enjoy it.
I think
you said it. I think like earned it. Like next day, so Kyle Klein, we were teeing off. I teed off late, 2:30. He was 2:15. He was on third card. And he was like, "Dude, are you nervous?" And I was like, "No, it's like, I don't know. I'm just going to go play another round." Like, following day, he was just like, "I don't know, man. Like, I'm on lead card." And I was like, "You've already exceeded all of your expectations.
Yeah.
You're 18 years old and you're on the lead card and going into the third round.
Yeah.
You can make you just shot 10 down yesterday. Like, you can make every shot." I'm like, no matter who you're playing with, just go do it again. And Wild. So like, and then he just had a very clean tournament, and that kid's so good. It's annoying. Like, but,
Hilarious. I think one thing I do want to point out, and I thought it was really interesting watching the coverage of you, was we had Brian Earhart on the commentary for that, which I from how he spoke, it seems like you two know each other fairly well. So it was really cool to hear him.
so weird.
Yeah, it was cool to hear him talk about your game, because he was like, yeah, Phill is really aggressive, and it was really cool because he was talking about you in a way that was more so like, I know this guy and I know how he plays, and it's like, it wasn't like, oh, who is this guy? It was very much Brian saying, yeah, Phill, of course, he's really aggressive, he's really got this.
So at the preserve, I was kind of his neighbor from afar, you know,
Okay.
like a little bit. So the last 2 weeks we've been kind of hanging out. We played together last year at CCR. So that was like another instance, and, you know, just like social media, we've talked here and there. And then Nathan Queen, we played together. Like he said, we played first round. So
Yeah.
he got to see me, like, or what type of player I am. And so that was kind of a cool lefty commentary. Like, it was very good. I don't know. Those two are really good together.
Yeah, no, it's really cool. It's awesome, kind of to see how, I mean, even though it was just 2 weeks in a row of being able to hang out more so, or being on a card with Nathan, it's cool how that kind of understanding between players. It's like, yeah, you might not hit all the stops, but it takes one card for you to be with Nathan Queen, for Nathan to be like, oh yeah, this guy, he runs things and he gets after it. So that's I think it's really interesting, and I think, like, from obviously as somebody who's played with you locally, it's cool to see kind of the impact you've made on the national scene as you jumped up and really proved yourself in that space. So essentially, my last question, or one of the last questions I'm going to ask, is, what's your next plan? Obviously, you're a Detroit local, so the assumption is you'll be coming home for a bit to play D-Glow. What's the next step in Phil's journey?
Yeah, so I had to register for as many events as I could this year.
Yeah.
And played Maple Hill last year.
Nice.
Actually played it 9 holes in practice and tweaked my arm, and it killed me. I didn't play for 2 more days on this amazing property. There. You know, took a couple Motrin, played round 1, did decent, round 2, and then round 3 had a double bogey on the last hole, or triple, and I still shot like 10-20. Like, I knew I could do really well at Maple Hill, but like, body just didn't like me.
Yeah.
This year, I've got a van. I'm working on. I was doing some flooring in the parking lot, like, you know, in Wisconsin last weekend, and just, you know, sticking down tiles and stuff like that. But in a local tournament this year, or this weekend, for Wolfpack Disc out in Jackson. And then I think I was talking to Wes about this. I don't know if I'll play Birchfield this weekend, but I really want to get focused and play the Toboggan, and signed up for Idlewild. And funniest thing, I bought a lease in Maryland when I lived there, and the day I got it, I left the dealership and typed in Idlewild, Kentucky, and went and I was 12,000 miles a year, so 1,000 miles a month, and drove all the way there and wasted the miles for that month in like the first day. And played my buddies, and this is when I just moved to Maryland, so I didn't know anyone. So I was like, oh, I'll go drive to hang out with my buddies. My buddy moved to Kentucky. I was like, I think I shot like a 110 or something, like an insane score. So like plus 30 on, it's on UDisc. I don't know. So I'm excited to get back there, you know, 6 years later, and see, like, can you do? But goal is to hit every stop. So like B tiers, A tiers, I'm trying to play like a live life on the road. For the most part, once the van's fully done, it's great. But I have a nice griddle of bacon and eggs and cooking amazing meals. So food was great, the diet's great, and tournaments are gonna keep coming. I like competition, and if you have every shot, you gotta like want to test yourself to see what can I do. But the funniest thing is my rating just went down. So after this tournament, so last year just dropped a 1048, a 1025, a 1017 from like Canada. And after Canada, the following weekend, I played Maple Hill and a next gen event, and trying to tackle all 50 states before I turned 30. So drove to Massachusetts, played Maple Hill Gold, drove to New Hampshire, Maine, played a course in each place. And so, 1 o'clock at a brewery pizzeria, I'm looking up C tiers, and they say Maple Hill has one tomorrow. So I got in my car and drove 5 hours south without sleeping. Showered at a Planet Fitness, and then I think the first round was like 960, and the first round of the first row threw to the wrong pad. Maple Hill 10, it's the Castle Hill at the top.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know there was a second basket. They were playing the blue position, like far to the right. I threw a thumber placement shot all the way up the fairway. All these guys throw super far. I'm like, what are you doing? Totally different basket. So I was like, oh my, no.
Oh, wow.
The second round, I actually shot like 1048 unofficial, then it went down a little bit, but turned out to be the course record from White's. Shot 9 down and had gotten a bad position on hole 3, and then when I'm in the rough, I throw a thumber and I hit the basket from like 190 feet away.
Oh wow!
Hits the cage, rolls about 90 feet away, so I had to pitch up, take my only bogey of the round.
Oh my!
Jumped from like 10th place to like 2nd place, so that was cool.
That's so cool. That's so cool.
Yeah, well, you're definitely a road warrior. People are going to see you out on the road. Obviously, you're probably one of the nicest guys out there. I'm sure you're happy to talk to anybody that comes up there, and maybe even make them pancakes. So yeah, we want to thank you, Phill, we want to thank you for joining us. If people see you on the road, go up and say hi to Phill, have him sign your disc. I'm sure he'd love it. And at the end of the day, Alex, one thing left to do.
Make that putt.
Make that putt.
Make it!
Yes, wonderful.